Hello my dear students, today we are continuing the previous class in which we are discussing about the experiment to prove DNA as a genetic material. In one such experiment we have come across the experiment conducted by Frederick Griffith, and it was observed that the DNA is responsible for the infection in mice which is caused by the Streptococcus pneumoniae bacteria. Now continuing the same topic, to prove the DNA as a genetic material, there is one such experiment called Hershey and Chase experiment. It is commonly called Hershey and Chase experiment because this was proposed by the two scientists by name Alfred Hershey and Martha Chase. Commonly it is called Hershey and Chase experiment. The experiment is called bacteriophage infection experiment. You know the bacteriophage, the virus which infect bacteria. The bacteria, while it is infected by the virus inject its genetic material inside the bacteria and involves in production of viral DNA inside the bacterial cell. As we know, the bacteriophage is having the protein coat acting as a capsid layer, and inside that capsid we have the genetic material in the form of DNA or RNA. As we already discussed in the previous classes, most of the viruses are having RNA as their genetic material. Some viruses are having DNA is also as a genetic material. Here we are taking an example of one bacteriophage which is having DNA as their genetic material covered over by the protein coat called capsid. While bacteriophage infects the bacteria, it sits on the bacterial cell and injects its genetic material inside the bacterial cell, and that genetic material combines with the bacterial DNA and involves in a production of viral DNA. As the bacteriophage is having DNA as a genetic material, as we have taken here, in this experiment Hershey and Chase uses two different viruses or bacteriophages, and which has been treated with two different radioactive elements. One bacteriophage, they are treated with radioactive phosphate called P32. Similarly, another bacteriophage, they are treated with radioactive sulfur called S35. These two radioactive elements treated to two different bacteriophages. As in the first case, bacteriophage treated with radioactive phosphate. Because of this radioactive phosphate, the DNA content present inside the bacteriophage will turn into radioactive DNA, because DNA is having one component as a phosphate. We have discussed in the previous classes. As bacteriophage is treated with radioactive phosphate, the entire DNA become radioactive in nature. Later, another bacteriophage which is treated with radioactive sulfur, as sulfur is not the component of DNA. Because of that, in this second case, the bacteriophage DNA remain normal, whereas the protein coat which is having sulfur rich content, that become radioactive. I'll repeat. In the first case, while the bacteriophage is treated, that forms radioactive DNA. In the second bacteriophage, while it is treated with radioactive sulfur, the protein coat become radioactive and the DNA remain normal. These two bacteriophages, they are made to infect two different bacteria. As it will be going to infect the two different bacteria, it will show the passing of the genetic material from the bacteriophage to the bacterial cell. This entire experiment is conducted in three different phases. One is infection stage, second one called blending stage, and the third one is called centrifugation stage. Here in this experiment, the major tool what they are used is blending. This blending is the major tool which has been used in this experiment. Because of that, this experiment called bacteriophage infection experiment is also called blending experiment. It is also called blending experiment, in which the bacteriophage is allowed to blend, agitate. So in the very first stage, they made bacteriophage treated with radioactive sulfur as well as phosphate, allowed to infect the bacteria. Followed by, they are made blending or agitating to separate the protein and DNA from the mixture of the bacteria and bacteriophage, and finally it will be observed by using centrifugation. So these are the three different stages: infection stage, blending stage and centrifugation phase. How it will be working out, we'll discuss now. Bacteriophage infection experiment is carried out in three different stages. First is infection stage, second one is blending stage, and the third one is called centrifugation stage. As I mentioned earlier, in the very first two different bacteriophages have been taken, and each bacteriophage is treated with one radioactive element. First one is treated with radioactive sulfur, whereas another bacteriophage is treated with radioactive phosphate P32. As it was treated with the two radioactive elements, in the first case sulfur S35 which is treated to the bacteriophage, because of that the entire protein coat become radioactive in nature, whereas the DNA will remain normal. In the second stage, the radioactive phosphate P32 which is treated to the bacteriophage, as a result the entire DNA become radioactive labeled. These two bacteriophages are allowed to infect, that is the first stage, infection stage. This is the infection stage. In this particular stage, the bacteriophages are allowed to infect the bacteria. As it was infecting, it releases its genetic content inside. As fully it will release its genetic content, finally it will remain as an only the protein coat, empty cell without genetic content, as the genetic content will be left inside the bacterial cell. Similarly, in other case also, the bacteriophage releases its genetic content inside the bacterial cell, and finally the empty bacteriophage, that is only the protein coat which is remain outside the cell without its genetic content. Later, this stage leads to the blending stage. Once the bacterial cell is infected with respective bacteriophage, It releases its genetic content inside the bacteria, and this bacteriophage genetic material will combine with the bacterial DNA and forms viral DNA inside the bacterial cell. Later, these cells, the mixture of bacteriophage and the bacteria will be taken and it will be blended. That is, agitating will be done, a mixing will be done, blending. Once it is blended, agitated, the cells which is bacteriophages, which is having only the protein coat, and the bacterial cells will be get separated after blending or after agitating. Later, this cell mixture will allowed to carry centrifugation called density grade centrifugation. While it is centrifuged, we'll get two different layers in the centrifuge tube. In the first experiment, while it is centrifuged, the result what they'll get is, they'll get all the cells present in the mixture showing, the bacterial cells showing no radioactivity. Whereas the supernatant, the liquid which is having the number of proteinaceous capsid layers of the bacteriophages, that show the radioactivity S35. I'll repeat, no radioactivity was found in the bacterial cells, whereas the radioactive S35 was detected in the supernatant, which is rich in the bacteriophages cells. Whereas in other one, the second set, while it is centrifuged, it was observed that the entire DNA content present inside the bacterial cells, which are radioactive phosphorus 32, because of that the entire cells show the radioactivity. All the cells in this set showing radioactive P32 in their cells, whereas the supernatant doesn't show any radioactivity. So, no radioactivity is detected in case of supernatant. This proves that while the bacteria is infecting or infected by the bacteriophage, repeat, while the bacteria is infected by bacteriophage, bacteriophage releases its genetic material inside the bacteria, leaving its protein coat outside the cell. And as a result, the genetic material which is inserted inside the bacteria, that will involve in the production of viral DNA inside the bacteria, causing infection to the bacteria. And as in this experiment you can see, the radioactive labeled DNA was found in the bacterial cell, whereas in other case there was no radioactivity was found in the cells because the DNA was normal here and the protein coat is radioactively labeled, whereas in the second case DNA is radioactively labeled and the protein coat was normal. As a result, the supernatant doesn't show any radioactivity, whereas the DNA present inside the bacterial cell shows the radioactivity. This proves that protein is not the genetic material, it is the DNA or RNA in most of the viruses, which is found as in genetic material. From the earlier experiments, it was very clear that DNA is acting as in genetic material, not the protein. And most of the organisms, DNA is found as in genetic material, except few viruses like tobacco mosaic virus, which is having RNA as the genetic material, whereas most of the organisms show DNA as the genetic material. Now, to call DNA as a genetic material or RNA as the genetic material, it should have certain features or it should have some criteria. What are the criteria should possess by the genetic material? We shall discuss here in this particular topic, that is properties of genetic material. And this has been asked for 5 marks in the previous examinations. To call as in genetic material, whether it may be DNA or RNA, it should have few criteria. If these criteria are not present, then it will not called as genetic material. The first and foremost criteria to call as in genetic material, whether it may be DNA or RNA, it should undergo replication. That means genetic material should produce its replica, exact copy during the time of cell division, and if it fails to produce its replica or its copy, then it is not called as a genetic material. DNA involves in replication during the cell division, especially during S phase of cell cycle. The DNA content will undergo duplication, that you have studied in your first year PUC classes, cell division. So as it will undergo replication and the protein fails to replicate, that is one of the major reason the protein is not called as in genetic material. Second one, the structurally and chemically it should be stable. The genetic material, whether it may be DNA or RNA, not only structurally, even the chemically it should be stable. Genetic material should be chemically and structurally should be stable, then only it is called as an genetic material. And of course, both DNA and RNA show chemically and structurally stability, because of that it is called genetic material. Similarly, it should undergo the genetic material should undergo mutation. The mutation is nothing but the sudden change which is the root cause for evolution. And it is observed that both DNA and RNA will undergo mutation. The rate of mutation is very faster in case of RNA, because RNA is single stranded, and the rate of mutation is slow in case of DNA, because DNA is having double stranded structure and it is less mutated when compared to RNA. Then it should have capabilities to express Mendelian characters. As we are going to discuss in one more topic called principles of inheritance, Gregor John Mendel explains about the inheritance of the characters from parents to their offsprings. So here the characters which will found in an organism should passes to their respective young ones, and it should have the capabilities to express the characters in their progeny. Progeny is nothing but the young ones, while the young one receives their characters from the parents, and that character should express, then only it should called as a genetic material, whether it may be DNA or it may be RNA. Among the DNA and RNA, it is the DNA is called predominant genetic material. It is the DNA which is called as an predominant genetic material when compared to RNA. The reason is DNA is double helical structure made up of 2 polynucleotide chain, whereas RNA is made up of single polynucleotide chain. Because of that, DNA is said to be predominant, and also it is observed by Crick. The DNA is monitoring the entire transcription as well as translation, nothing but protein synthesis, which is totally under the influence of the DNA, and the DNA is considered as a predominant genetic material. As the thymine is present in DNA. Remember, we are discussing the first class. DNA is having 4 nitrogen bases: adenine, guanine, cytosine and thymine. Similarly, the RNA is having adenine, guanine, cytosine and uracil. In the place of thymine, uracil is present in case of RNA and thymine is present in DNA. This thymine gives more stability to the DNA. Because of the presence of this thymine, the DNA is said to be the more stable or predominantly stable molecule. It provides stability to the DNA, and it is more stable genetic molecule. Whereas the next one, the both DNA and RNA, as we are discussing the point number 3, both are undergoing mutation. As it is undergoing mutation, the DNA, which is showing slow rate of mutation, as it is more stable molecule, it show very slow rate of mutation, and in most of the higher organism, the DNA is acting as in genetic material, and it is more stable structurally as well as chemically, and it will be less reactive also. Less reactive and showing a very slow rate of mutation. Because of that, the organism which possesses DNA as the genetic material, they have the long lifespan. Whereas the viruses, most of the viruses are having RNA as the genetic material. This RNA show high rate of mutation, and it is highly reactive also. It is highly reactive and it is less stable because RNA is made up of single stranded polynucleotide chain. Because of that, RNA is less stable and it is highly reactive and it shows very fast rate of mutation. Because of that, most of the viruses are having short lifespan when compared to the cells which is having the DNA as their genetic material. And also you have observed there are a number of viruses, might have been heard about these viruses which will undergo the series of changes. Of course, no virus are showing an stability, and most of the viruses are undergoing a very fast rate of mutation, and it will go on change from one form to other form repeatedly because of this very high rate of mutation. And because of this mutation, the viruses are forming into different forms repeatedly. Like we have the number of viruses like COVID-19 virus, commonly called coronavirus, herpes virus, polyomavirus. Like that there are number of viruses, or even HIV virus. There are number of viruses which is going on mutate very fast rate, That is the reason it is difficult to control its multiplication or infection rate, because it will not remain the same what they will found one day before or few days before, because it will go on mutate in a very fast rate, and that is one of the feature what you can found in an RNA. So these are the features should be present in case of genetic material, whether it may be DNA or RNA, and if it fails to have these criteria, then it is not called as a genetic material. So whether it may be DNA or RNA, to called genetic material, it should have these number of features. As we have discussed the DNA or RNA as the genetic material, now we are passing to RNA world. RNA is the first genetic material which evolved while the origin of life takes place, and this RNA, as it is having pentose sugar C5H10O5, as we have discussed in the previous classes. So the sugar which is present in an RNA, which is pentose sugar, which is having one hydroxyl group at second carbon, it is having one hydroxyl group. Because of that, it is highly reactive. As RNA is highly reactive, as we have just now discussed in the previous topic called the criteria of the genetic material or properties of genetic material, it is highly reactive. As RNA is highly reactive, and it will undergo fast rate of mutation. As the whole process of life, like transcription, translation, splicing, all these are the very important metabolic events which is going to occur in a cell, and all these events are revolving around RNA, and it is the RNA which involves in all these activities. And as it was highly reactive, it will undergo the series of changes, and as it was highly unstable molecule which show very fast rate of mutation, as it will go on undergoing reactions, mutates, and DNA was evolved from the RNA because of the reactive nature and the fast rate of mutation. And as the DNA was evolved from RNA, while it is evolved, this DNA gains the stability and it becomes more stable molecule or better genetic material when compared to RNA. And as it becomes more stable because of the presence of thymine, and this makes the DNA to remain more stable, and this stable molecule is acting as predominant genetic material or better genetic material when compared to RNA. And the DNA, as it was become stable molecule, this will guide the process of transcription, translation, splicing in the cell by producing RNA by a process called transcription. So this is what we call the RNA world. Now we'll pass on to the very interesting topic called replication. If you remembered, in the previous topic we have discussed criteria or properties of genetic material. The first and foremost property of genetic material is it should undergo replication. What is that replication? How this replication takes place, and how the DNA will going to form its own copy by a process called replication, and what are the different enzymes involved in that replication, and how this process of replication will start in a cell during the cell division. That we shall discuss in the next topic called replication.